On you, Cass.
Yo.
What up? What up?
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Welcome back.
Let's go, guys. What's
Fellas.
up? Welcome to another episode of For the Culture podcast.
For the culture.
You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Cass on the mic. I'm here with...
Colgate.
DZ104.
Jay Switay.
Y'all already know.
Yo,
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Episode dos, motherfucker.
Number 2.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
And you want to touch him in real quick on what you got going on, Joe?
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
Real
Chase
quick, I
Switay.
mean, I've dropped a couple tracks this year.
Shit about
Late
an
delivery.
album. Shit.
Yeah, late delivery.
Late delivery.
Is it real?
Is it real?
27 Club.
27 Club. Hot fire.
Moment. I've got several tracks lined up to drop in
This
the
man
future.
raw.
All year. All
Yeah,
year.
sir.
All year.
Features, you know.
All
I got
platforms?
Cass, all platforms, of course.
Merch?
Except SoundCloud, really. I ain't on SoundCloud.
What's up with the merch?
Yeah, I
Uh,
see you
merch,
got a
yeah.
new shirt right there. That shit's hard.
Oh, that's your merch?
That's his merch.
DZ's like, man, I thought you got that from the stove, man.
I bought
That's
it
hard.
myself.
That skeleton dude's cool.
Yeah,
I'm getting one of
yeah.
those.
It's part of the album cover for 27 Club. I've
Okay.
got, I'm
That's
in
hard.
the works of designing things right now, so I really
Yep.
want to start.
And
getting
you're
the
doing a lot of
merch.
your own designs, right?
Oh yeah.
Fire.
Awesome.
You doing a lot of your own beats too, right?
Every
Yeah,
time.
all of them.
That's
all
what
of
I
Joe's
them.
like
heard.
since 2012.
A lot of
Yes,
my own
sir.
recording.
sure.
2012? You mean 2002?
Hey, everybody at
shit.
this table, we all kind of really do a lot of our own recording.
Yes.
A lot
Yeah,
of
so
shit.
we getting raw, man.
Yeah, what you got going
What
on?
you got
Yeah,
going
Cass,
on?
what's up?
I got a new merch line dropping.
Uh-huh.
Cass
I
on
see
the
it,
mic,
I see
you know
it.
what I'm
The
saying, for the
glitter,
summer.
I like that.
Ooh,
I like
very
that.
nice.
Made it myself. Me and my team.
Yourself?
Yeah, me and my team got it going on at the, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
we got a little
sir.
spot, got the machines and shit.
Facts.
Your Way out now. You know, I got a song with my boys Ain't No Car coming. I think by the time this episode drops, it should be out. It's gonna be a part of his EP
Yes,
called
sir.
"It's Not You, It's Me." You know, and he's it's
Zano's
dope.
dope.
Yeah,
We'll
he's
link
he's
him in
got
here.
crazy beats.
he's a
got
super
crazy
producer,
beats.
super engineer, and he was
He's a
part-
great artist too, though.
Yeah, amazing artist, and
Gotta
he's
meet him.
This is his
You
first.
love him.
Yeah, this is his first solo EP,
Right.
and I'm the only feature on it. So
Oh, right.
that shit's about to be
Yeah.
dope. Can't wait. We're gonna the video should be done by the time this podcast is out. It might be out. I don't know. Shit, we all gonna be surprised in that
Yeah,
motherfucker.
facts.
But DZ was our last guest, man. What you got going on since last time?
Man, shit.
The
A lot of
easy.
music, a lot of new music coming out. Rolling out. I'm still rolling out Demon Time. You know, it's my album. You not gonna skip us
Yeah,
on
y'all
that.
cannot
On
sleep
every
that.
platform, Demon Time. You
Yeah.
know, go check my page. You'll figure out
Demon
all the
Time.
content. You know, you figure out what Demon Time really means. You know, it's really a different meaning to
Yeah.
it. You know, Demon
Not
Time.
just like demon monsters.
Do
Yeah,
your
no, it's,
research.
right.
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
You need to do a video on that,
Yeah.
breaking that down.
Yeah.
That,
let's
yeah,
do
that's
it.
actually a great
And
idea.
I'm putting out another album called Dirty Shoes, I believe, coming soon. You know, me and I got my
Yeah.
shoes dirty
Yeah.
to get one man
Me,
today.
me and DZ were
Yeah.
talking. We're gonna do a little.
Yeah,
project
me and
together.
Jason, they got something going on. You know what I'm
Damn,
saying?
that's gonna be
yeah.
lit.
And then I
Yeah.
got 3P with these boys and shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we're gonna re-roll
I got a
that
lot
out.
of shit.
New
Oh,
videos and
They
stuff too. I
sleep on
think.
that
Yeah,
shit.
for sure,
That's
man.
a fire one.
Yes, sir.
And today's guest,
Yes, sir.
you know, the one and only, man, our brother from another, man.
Who's that boy?
Colgate,
Colgate,
you
baby.
know what I'm
Mr.
saying? If
Gate.
y'all haven't heard
Can we
of
get the
him,
cha-ching?
you know,
Yeah,
the crowd.
Yeah, how you doing?
Oh, easy, ladies and gentlemen.
How you doing, baby?
Sir.
But my brother, man, you know, he for the culture OG, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Episode
started
2.
this really.
Yeah, he's actually the
really-
one that really like pushed this to really move forward. He's like, look, guys.
Kind of done with that.
It's
Get in this
happening
shit.
with or without you, really.
Yeah, he's like, y'all gonna do
Jump on
this or
board,
not?
yeah.
But yeah,
Well-
our brother is on board. How you feeling today, my bro?
I'm feeling good, man.
That's what's
I'm
up,
feeling
bro.
sleepy.
Yes, sir.
Every time we do these, we have to get up really fucking early
Yes,
or
sir.
really, really late at night. So,
Mhm.
you know,
Either way, we up when you not.
And it don't get done. You hear me?
facts.
Yeah.
Work gotta get done.
Yes, sir.
But you know,
man.
But no, I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling good. It's really good to be back. I've been planning this. I've been planning this run, as you know, for many, many years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the rocket ship almost took off a bunch of times, but different things kind of canceled the launch, so to speak.
Right.
And it's
we'll
sometimes
get
those
into.
setbacks are needed to kind of give you
That
like
happens for a reason.
a reassurance
Exactly.
of like how you should run.
You got to
things.
slow down to speed up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into the now, you know what I'm saying? You know how the
how did
blueprint
you
works,
start?
man. We want to know the origin story of,
The beginning.
of Christopher Colgate. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Like
How did you get
like
into
before you were Spider-Man, you were Peter Parker. You know, let's get into
Fact.
that.
So the first thing I always like to tell people is I did not come up with the name Colgate.
Make sure you say your age and when you started all this too. I want to know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
facts. I
we need
will.
to know
So
everything.
at birth, I
Yes,
did
sir.
not come up with the name Colgate. That's my family name. Everybody, that's my last name. So when I was an artist, I started rapping before I got into singing. So it was like, fresh rapper, Colgate. I had to do that, minty
It
fresh.
just made sense. It
Yeah.
all
Freshest in the
Exactly.
game, and it was already who I was. So yeah, for sure. Okay, early life in music. So I
Yeah,
was
before you even get into like what led you to the music. What were you listening to first?
Yeah.
like you
what-
guys know the answer to that.
Yeah. Like I want
we
the
don't.
people.
We
I
want-
want
we
the
want
people.
Yes, you do.
I don't know.
To
When
have
I
no
was
idea.
little, from like literally birth, because when I was born, my parents' friends gave them this movie called Michael Jackson Moonwalker. It was this short film he did in this montage of all his music videos.
You're right. I
They
do
would
know this.
play for it. My parents would play it for me in the crib to go to sleep to. So I was like humming to like, Man in the Mirror and PYT and shit. I'm like 2 years old. The whole nine. So as a kid, like I'm like 5, 6 years old, right? So my dream as a kid, my 3 heroes were Michael Jackson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone,
okay.
and like
Yeah.
Batman. So I'm like,
Yeah,
when
you
I get
gotta have
older,
Batman in there.
Yeah,
the
of course.
plan when I'm like 5 years old is like, okay, I'm gonna blow up. I'm gonna be a superhero by night, an action star to pay the bills, and a mega music star for fun. And like that's
Yeah.
like my legit plan at 5 years old. I'm like, this is gonna happen.
Right.
So, but yeah, I was actually born out in Tucker, Georgia, but we grew up in Atlanta. My dad worked at Grady for like 16 years as a paramedic. Now he works in the cath lab, like helping people's hearts and stuff. My mom's a nurse. She's from Ireland, born and raised there. She's got 14 brothers and sisters.
Dang.
She is a pistol, man. Mama,
That's a big family.
yeah, Mama is.
Oh wow.
Mom's wild. We've been to Ireland and England. I got family all over. I got family in Australia and Italy and Canada and just everywhere.
You got
So-
family, so you know that mean we gonna have to take a trip, bro.
Facts.
Yeah, for real.
And then my pop side is St. Pete, which is right outside of town. So
Yes, sir.
we're back. Technical difficulties.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Batteries and cords and cards and whatnot. Okay,
But-
where were we?
Electricity.
The beginning, the origin story.
Yeah, so we're talking about the beginning. So yeah, mom's from Ireland, bunch of family. Dad's from Tampa, St. Pete. It's a suburb of Tampa, so it's right there.
No,
You
wait,
know.
wait. Hold on. A part of St. Pete is the suburb of Tampa.
There-
it's a
there it
fucking
is.
part of St. Pete that's the fucking trenches too. All right, so
We got the
yeah,
expert
yeah,
in the
yeah,
building.
yeah.
So anyway, as a kid, I was obsessed with Michael Jackson, and then of course, my parents had tons of like crazy vinyl collection. Everybody from Frank Sinatra to the Eagles to God, it just goes on and on. Like I had really heavy rock influence too as a kid, and that's kind of where when I started making music, that's what I started getting into. Because like middle school, I took violin as like an elective. I did pretty good with it.
I used to play the cello.
Hey, I never knew that. I never
I
knew
used to
that.
play the
That's
motherfucking
hard.
cello, bro.
Yeah.
And I used to like that shit too. So
Cello's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
cool
I loved
instrument.
music, so like the first 2 years I did it, it was fun, and then I just was slacking on my practice and stuff, and
Same.
Yeah, 'cause
like
it's literally
girls in the
consistency.
class when I was
Same.
little, just dicking around. But
Same.
then because I was good at that, well, decent at least, and I had like the dexterity. When I got into high school, I got a guitar and started doing like I was part of a band and was listening to a lot of metal and shit back then, and then started doing like acoustic shows and stuff, and I couldn't sing worth a fucking lick. It took years to kind of train my voice to be able to make like decent music. It was horrible back then. But yeah, really, honestly, man, I had a really storybook like kind of growing up. Like, it was really good.
Because I remember last episode when we were doing.
It didn't get bad till later.
When we were doing DZ, right? You
Yeah.
were saying that you would put the 8 Mile DVD in, and you would fast forward to the end to when they were.
Oh yeah, this is. See, I'm
think it's
older
a
than you, so this is
VHS.
way later for me. That's like my 20s.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. I thought
The
this was
ancient
like
one.
I thought this was like a 10-year-old Colgate, you know.
No. That's like 20-year-old
Okay,
Colgate, broke as fuck.
So how do we go from you know Michael Jackson being your inspiration to like
Yeah.
now you're because obviously Michael Jackson's not a hip hop artist, right?
Yeah,
So how do you go
facts.
from like
Well-
that being your main inspiration to like leaning to like, oh, okay, I'm listening
Rap.
to rap and I
So-
want to mix this.
Exactly. So I'm a junior in high school, and I found Wayne. Oh man, I fell
We all
hard for
found
Wayne.
Wayne.
Yeah.
God damn.
We all found
So no,
Wayne.
this is a hilarious story. So Dedication 3 came out, and the Dedication series is Lil Wayne does like remixes of songs. So Dedication 3 comes out, right?
Drama.
Yeah, with DJ
Yeah.
Drama.
Gangsta.
So I get Dedication 3, and like I know it's coming for Christmas. My folks are like, yeah, we're going to get it for you for Christmas. And this is like maybe October. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get it yet. In the meantime, I need to go get the old ones so I know what's going on in the story. Because I'm thinking like I'm used to like rock and roll albums back
Right.
then where
Like,
things
you
are
can't
like
watch, you can't watch
Yeah.
Avatar 2 without.
It's like a
Avatar
series.
1, yeah. So I'm like, I gotta go. Yeah, and I wanted to get Dedication 2 because Cannon was on it. You know, listen close, I got duct tape and rope. I leave you listen like the
that
fucking no
beat,
Bennons.
dude, that
So,
beat.
so I go to Best Buy, and the first Dedication's there, and it's cheaper. So I'm like, back when they used to sell it as a CD at Best Buy,
Beautiful
Wheezy
days.
was trapping out remixes
That's crazy.
at Best Buy. That's psycho.
Going
That's
platinum.
crazy.
But anyway, I go and I'm like, well, I better get number 1. So I get number 1, and I think it's all original music because I don't really know shit about hip hop back then. And it's like all these different remixes, and I didn't know they were remixes at the time. He got on this one Pac beat. Oh my God, he goes so psycho on it.
I think I know which one you're
Though my
talking about.
path is narrow and I start to spiral, get them bad
Hit 'em up.
automatics
Hit 'em
up.
up, beat.
Hit 'em up. Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's not even hit him up. He's done so many Pac beats because he loves.
Oh, it's
Yeah, he's done a lot.
the Riders.
The Rider
dun,
one?
dun dun dun.
No,
It's
different
not that one.
It's
either?
another one. It's a deep cut.
I don't think he did do a lot of pop beats. I ain't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm a
everybody's
link it.
beats.
It's
He did
crazy.
everybody's
It's like
beats.
one of my
He did everybody's
favorite
beats.
ones. So I just fall in love with it. And then I start, all my homies are listening to rap and everything. Because I started getting into like the partying phase right around then. And that's what everybody's listening to. And Wayne like super inspires me. And then everything changes. So I go to Ireland my junior year for the summer. And I come home. And I meet this girl because we're both like, we come back because she was from Europe too. Super long story short, I date her and we have a kid. Like, we were dating for a really short amount of time until we knew she was expecting. And my parents kicked me out. We had like a falling out. If you ask them, it's debatable who said what, but I'm
Right.
not going to I love my family. No, I'm not going to
We'll
get
bring
into
them
semantics.
to the podcast next time.
One of these days.
Chop it up.
But anywho, we're all good. It's okay. But I leave, and it was really rough. I was so babied growing up, like never had hard times. I had just got my first job as a janitor at a middle school, working 3 hours a day. And I remember back then I was like, God damn it, Dad, this is unbearable.
Wait, were you still in high school?
Yeah, I'm still in high school.
You're in
It's
high
like
school
after
working
school, I'm
middle
like, what the
school,
fuck is
People do
what?
this?
This is
Jesus
what life
Christ.
is?
Man, this is rough. I feel like anyway. So it goes from that to just like the rug from under me. It was tough because it like literally too. All my friends' parents were like, when I tried to stay, they're like, oh come on, we know your parents, go home, and they'd be like, you can't stay here because it's like the suburbs, it's quiet, and they didn't realize like it was.
Like you were for real.
It was not happening. So there was some
Yeah.
sleeping outside that went on. It was really tough. But then I ended up staying with my friends Thomas and Cameron Cope. Shout out to the Copes. And I was really hard up for money, so we got into some different things to make money.
Yes, sir.
You know,
You gotta do what you gotta do.
statues of limitations.
Yes, sir.
No funny business. I just mean, there could have been some product involved here and there.
He got into sales, ladies.
I got into
Yeah.
the streets, basically.
He's an entrepreneur.
I was indoctrinated into the
No
streets.
funny business, just serious business.
Facts.
Yeah.
But
So, in that point in your life, right? Are you recording any music at all? Are you
so what happens then is, man, it was pretty crazy. So we're getting ready to have the baby at the time. Next thing you know, my parents are kind of trying to reconcile with us, and they tell my daughter's mom at the time, they're like, hey, we're going to go down to Florida. Why don't you come with us? We can try and work this out a little bit. And she goes, and I just got a job. Man, this could be a long one, really. I've got so many funny stories. I'm going to have to segue some of these. But I just got a job as a lifeguard. And it was horrendous. The training you had to go through. You had to go 20 feet underwater and pick up a cement block.
Do you like swimming?
I mean, I enjoy swimming, but this is some fucking Marine Corps bullshit. It's
Navy
20
SEAL.
feet deep with a concrete block, and then I see this little girl who's 80 pounds, doesn't get the block, and they're like, you're good. Go ahead. I'm like, what the fuck? Who's she going to save? Lawsuit, and you're not going to, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to let me do anything. But anyway, I just got it, so I couldn't go on the trip, and then she goes into labor. So then I had to go down to Jacksonville. I lived in the Ronald McDonald House because basically we lost the place that we had up here at the time. I was living in a trailer. And then when I came back, we got an apartment. And I had just got a new job when I got back too, because obviously I lost the other one. So it was.
So this is when you were writing the raps.
Yeah, this is when I start writing the raps. So the first one I did was a remix to Shook Ones.
Yeah.
And when I was in the trailer leading up to the baby being born, after I'd gotten out of the house, that's when I was kind of doing the 8 Mile thing when I barely had a nickel to rub together.
And this is before the YouTube era as well. That
This is still
go and search some type.
This is 2009. That's when my daughter was born. Her name's Andrea. She's 13 now. But yeah, so that's when I started taking it serious. So I started going to the studio. It was $90 an hour back then, and I was super broke. So I was just hustling my ass off to get in there an hour or two, and I start recording my first mixtape, Music Junkie, which is absolute dog water. It is horrible. God, it's horrible. My voice sounded so squeaky, and I was trying to figure it out. So I do that for some years, and then I linked with my boy Tyler Douglas. Shout out to Tyler Douglas. I love you to death. It's like my brother from another. We actually went to high school together, and he studied at SAE. He was an engineer, and he opened a studio, and I started going there, and it was paying, it was affordable. It wasn't too bad, and started getting my feet wet with recording, and then things really changed when one of my other best friends, his name's Angelo LaRocca, was shot to death. When I was 21, he was 19 at the time. And when he died, Tyler and I got really close because Al used to come to the studio all the time, and we were thick as thieves. Al basically lived with me. He stayed with me most of the time because he was still staying with his mom. And it was really sad. It was super unfortunate. He was shot to death over $50. I really want to bring his mom on here one time and kind of talk about it. She's a big advocate for criminal violence stuff. But that event really changed my life because we were really wide open and really wild back then. We were stealing stuff. I was selling drugs, doing drugs.
Gave you a reality check.
I mean, he died, and then it went really bad after that. I got really depressed. I really kind of fell in the hole.
Do you feel like that pushed you to make more music?
That's what.
That's when I made this album back then called Cup of Blues, and I'm gonna re-roll it out. Yeah. I was really young, but man, it was just such a painful time in my life. I actually kind of did 2 albums at the same time. One was called Thoughts of Her and one was Cup of Blues. Yeah. And that was back when we could literally press up the CDs and
just hand
them out. And I was selling them for $25 each. I was making good money. Really doing good.
Yeah,
just kind of new $5 and people were paying for it.
$25?
That album was hard.
Album?
I played it and they were like, "Oh man, when I album, yeah."
Man, I should have upped my score. I selling my shit for $3.
It's because too, you got to remember.
Take me back to 09.
people knew us in the neighborhood already, and then when Al passed, everybody was like, you know how it is when somebody dies. When somebody dies, everybody wants to pretend like they were best friends with him and they were involved with it.
So they were supporting. Like
so they were like hopping on the fucking bandwagon. I was like, bitches, you want to pretend? Go ahead and shell it out.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
even though the whole album wasn't about Al, it was just kind of like the time in my life then. Yeah, it was just the emotion of everything. It was a really rough time back then. I was just in a dark place. Things change when I win this contest called Artist Auditions. It was right around the time I started going up to Icon Studios. I met Ian Burke, Kid Class, Libby V.
Shout out all of them.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into them. We want to have them as guests on here for sure. But right around that time, I win this contest and I go on this thing called Artist Auditions. It's kind of like American Idol for rappers. So when I went, I got to go on tour with Flocka.
That's funny. I was just about to ask.
Yeah, so that was super dope. DJ Ace and Flocka.
What year was this? Do you remember?
This is 2014, I want to say.
Okay.
So 2014.
So this is like a peak Waka Flocka as well. It's not,
It's a little bit after that. It's maybe like 2.5, 3 years after. Like
Waka's still hitting now. So even in 2014.
No, but it was a college tour, so it was big, and we did like 3.
Waka had on college tours.
Oh man, it was amazing. So we did 3 shows, and I did a project back then called The Technique. And I went out and I was like working at an Atlanta bread company. It's like Panera Bread at the time. So I win this contest and I go and I'm telling everybody, I'm like, peace, bitches.
This is it.
This is it. Yeah. Taking off. Yeah. So I go and I meet Flocka and we're like shooting darts in the back and shit with DJ Ace. And I'm just like, this is fucking crazy. Like, I did it. Like, I'm thinking like, man, I really made it. Sure. Flocka is super cool. So I get there. He's just chugging Bud Light and Fireball. Refused to smoke. So when he came out with the thing about the blunt roller years later, I was really surprised because I remember being like, you sure you don't want to hit this? But yeah, we had a really great time. We did Tuscaloosa, Alabama State. That one was crazy.
Oh, they was lit.
And then I did Orange Peel in North Carolina, and that one was super wild. There's this dude in this wheelchair, and they crowd surf him to the stage, and I'm on the stage and I got a bottle like spraying it everywhere, and they got some girl doing a lap dance on him, and Flocka's just going crazy, and I'm right next to it, and I'm just like this is fucking wild. I got footage of it. I'll have to put it back out, but I'm just like screaming my lungs out on the side of the stage, like just a wild man drunk off my ass having a good time. Lacey came with me. Lacey's my fiance.
So
yeah,
shout out to Lacey.
Shout out to Lacey.
Yeah,
guys love the guys love Lacey. We're all tight family around here.
Do you have a point in your music journey to where you ever felt like you wanted to just give up?
All the time. Yeah. Still do sometimes. It is a lot of fucking work.
Okay. So what keeps you going?
Well, it's just part of me, honestly. Like I knew ever since I was a kid, I knew this was going to happen. Right. It's just a mode I had. I wanted to like act or make music or whatever. I knew I was supposed to entertain people. Right. I've just been doing it naturally ever since I was a kid, doing voices, trying to sing, trying to do stories, plays, whatever.
So
which,
after this Waka Flocka thing,
oh yeah,
like
so
it's not the end.
Yeah, back to this. So we go, we do all this. We're talking. I come home and everybody's like giving me some looks now at home. So I get home, like the neighborhood and people in music, because I'd been out doing like open mics and shit. So I'd met this guy named Chad Cahill at the time. He worked with Greg Street and Be Rich. Where did we leave off? Technical difficulties again.
You were talking about Waka.
At the end after.
Yeah, the B.O.B. thing. So Chad Cahill. So I come home, kind of got a little bit of a buzz going on at the time, and Chad hits me. He's like, man, I want to pitch you to B.O.B. So we get some stuff together, and a couple of the tapes that I had, sent it over. Long story short, got some info. It just didn't really pan out. It didn't work. So now my bubble is just like really burst. I'm thinking like, whoosh,
boy, I know that feeling.
I'm out of here. I'm getting ready to put in my 2 weeks. Like I thought I was going to be like,
man,
it was over with. So I'm still going up to Icon, working on some music, and I talked with Ian Burke, who like helps run it up there, and this producer kid class and everybody's telling me like, man, you got to learn the business, bro. The problem was you had the opportunity, but you didn't have a business set up. Like, it's got to make money. You got to figure out some way to, like, you know, sell yourself. You're not selling anything. I was giving everything away for free. So I tried to get an internship up there, but the hours just didn't align with what I had going on. So I ended up going to this studio at the time in Little 5 Points called Paperboy Studios. And first we went at their first location. It was in high school. And I worked over there, and I interned and helped with the marketing and everything. And then I ended up we built a new location. I actually literally physically helped build it. There was a venue inside of it and stuff. It was great. And then he ended up going out of business. This horrible credit card scam. Somebody stole like 3 weeks worth of studio time. They booked the studio out for like almost a month, 24 hours a day. Used a fake card. He processed the money, and then they reversed the transaction. It was horrible. Super good guy. Graduated from Berklee College of Music. Reminds me of you a lot, actually, Joe.
All right.
Super talented.
He must be cool.
Guy, man. He's an amazing producer. Plays like 10 instruments. Just like super talented dude. Dylan Castora. Love him to death. He like works for Google and does movie stuff now, like sound for movies and shit like that. But after that, I'd worked over there for a while. Met a lot of different artists. Did stuff. Then I was like, okay, I think I know how to do this now. I worked with different people. I met Wendy Day. Shout out Wendy Day. We'll definitely get into that another episode. I had just met different people. Fort Knox, Diana Schweinbeck. I just got my feet dirty, learned about marketing and everything for music and how it really worked. And I was like, okay, the thing I'm missing right now is money. So I didn't have enough money to really play the game. So I said, how can I solve this problem? So I was like, I need to make a group. Because back in the day when I had a group with my homies, we could afford stuff more. So I had this idea to make think like a DJ Khaled album, right? How there's like all different vibes. Like you could have Travis Scott, you could have Cole, you could have Ross, you could have Wayne, you could have the Migos, you could have Justin Bieber. Yep. But what if there was like a group like that? Like the fucking...
The Wu-Tang Clan.
The Justice League. I mean, even like different... Everybody's got a specialty.
Wu-Tang kind of all works
the same cup of tea.
Realm.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like if Khaled had like a label group.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Where you just had all
superstars.
different vibes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, that way we won't step on each other's toes, and we can all put it together. And that was called The Collective. So I went out and I hunted for artists that just had like that special thing. So I met you at a show. I met you at a bunch of shows. And Peso, Montana and everything. We just used to bump into each other all the time.
Lennox
Entertainment days, yeah. Shout out Lennox. Joe and you were connected, so I didn't meet Joe until we held the official first meeting.
He was like, "Yo, there's this dude I know, and he's starting this thing called The Collective." He's like, "You should come by." I was like, "All right, we'll see."
So we had a bunch of people in there. Quentin Quo, now Solomon Banks. It was like 13.
It was like 13 of us.
JT, Grind Gourmet Beats, Troy Maddox, Louis Lynx. Troy Maddox of Mad Souls, amazing producer. Louis Lynx,
Mad Soul, man.
Rapper, clothing designer. We had a bunch of people in there, man. It was
a lot of great potential for sure.
DJ T.O., Fresh,
2401.
2401. Trey the Plug. How can I forget? Man, Trey the Plug. Shout out Trey the Plug. That guy's an animal.
On the podcast
yeah, he's definitely going to be on the podcast. I have an amazing record with Trey called Voodoo that's out right now. You should go listen to that.
Definitely go listen to that.
That's a hit. But yeah, so we did that, and really, long story short, the reason it didn't pan out was because it was just too many moving parts. There was too many of us to like really stay organized.
I was one of those moving parts.
Yes.
That's why it's crazy that I'm right here.
Back here now. But yeah, it was just like it overwhelmed all of us because all of us were so ambitious and had so much going on. I mean, we worked really well, and we all still have bonds with each other and still work with each other on a regular basis.
Was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I think
we made a lot of good records.
Like, everybody had different ideas for what we should do.
We need to drop that as like an album and do like a whole documentary about everybody that was involved in it.
That was a lot of still good stuff.
Oh, yeah. There's some gems in there.
So,
but
yeah, you're saying we're
so
here
we
at
do
this
that.
collective point.
We're at the collective point, and we meet with Wendy Day, and we're talking about going and shopping for a bag, like some financing, some funding, and basically she's all right. Yeah, riddled with technical
Once
difficulties.
again, we are back though.
Had to get so nitty gritty, I had to take the rings off. Anyway, so what I was wrapping up with was the collective. So we had, kind of made the Justice League, all got together. It's too many moving parts, some logistical button heads, things like that. So after that, I was like, well, I guess while we try and figure this out, I'm gonna have to get a bunch of records ready for myself and give it a go.
And also, I remember you calling me one day like, hey, DZ, bro, I know everything ain't seemed to work out with the collective and everything, but I want you to know, bro, I ain't stopping, bro. So just keep
Facts.
going, bro. And I'm going, bro. Like you was like
Well, I'd come too far at that
He
point.
was like, bro, I ain't stopping, bro. Like it's still maybe the name will change or something, but
the plan is still the
plan's
same.
Still the same, bro.
Well, I remember you giving me this really good analogy like a year or two ago, and you're like, man, like we've been working so hard for so long, and you have, and all this stuff, and you're like, it might not work out, but it's like a road trip, like you're driving a car.
Yeah,
you're like,
bro.
I just got to stop and get some gas right now, and like
And keep going.
fuel up, and then like we're gonna keep going.
And I ain't gonna lie,
And
bro.
so, yeah.
I always seen something in you, bro. Like
thank
when
you.
I did my Demon Time album release party, when I first I had to put it back out because I sold some songs and I gave a song to somebody on there, and I also we redid something with a song called Swing on there, which is my daughter's song. It's out right now. Go get it. But that's out right now. But when I first put it out, I had an album release party, which I was there. And I was like, Colgate, bro, can you host this party for me, bro? And he hosted that motherfucker.
We had a good time.
Yeah, I got lit as
hung out,
fuck
bro.
that
Yeah,
night.
Cass got super
I
lit.
got slime.
Y'all gotta watch the footage on my page,
Yeah,
Cass,
it's
bro.
out.
Everybody
It's out.
like, bro, I need Cass at my
Man, y'all
show,
remember?
bro.
Y'all remember when we were doing the collective and we played the show with Little Donald,
Yeah.
Oh man,
and we all got the section, and we were all getting just
I missed
drunk
that
as.
one, but I remember that one. Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
getting drunk as fuck, man.
Yeah.
I
That
hit
was-
a drunk freestyle.
That was good
funny.
times,
That shit was
but
funny.
That was fun.
but yeah, kind of back to the music stuff. So I was like, yeah, I got to keep going, and I studied and I did a lot of different work. I mean, this could be hours. I could talk about it for forever and ever, but I worked on some campaigns with some people to help get them signed and get them funding and different things because I wanted to see how it was done so I could go and replicate it. And really, it's just like it's not super complicated when you break down the main ingredients. You gotta be super consistent, as in like religiously release things, whether that's once a month, once a week, once a quarter, whatever. You just got to tell people, hey, look, this is how I'm doing it. This is how I'm rolling it out. So you got to be super consistent. You got to be able to make money back. Because if you want to get to level 2 in any kind of business, got to make money. So you got to structure it to make some money.
Right.
And we're going to need your help to make some money. That's merch, that shows. That's,
Everything.
You know,
Everything.
we got a lot
blueprint.
of artist services that we're going to be offering: photography, videography, merch pressing, consultations, interviews, everything. Yeah.
So
So
believe it or not, even though y'all on, we ain't at the ain't at the level of, let me use somebody relevant right now, Lil Baby, we all are plugged in with people,
Oh yeah.
big people at this. Everybody at this
Y'all
table
gonna see them.
yeah, facts.
are plugged. Everybody at this table is plugged in with big.
It's like
people.
imagine if you worked for a company and the boss was a multimillionaire and you
Man.
know him really well, and he's just like, look, if you bring me a play that makes sense, like
really
we
know
can
the
go.
plugs to the plugs.
Yeah, facts.
And
So
we
we
know the
just
plugs.
we got to get dirty and bring him something that makes sense, and
Like we
It's
could
outta
really
here.
call them like, hey bro, hey ma'am, hey
you know. Yeah.
y'all will.
And you'll get more of those stories and those relationships as the podcast goes. But then, I kind of sat down with kind of who I thought from the collective would be able to kind of help me logistically manage all of these things, these artist services, the podcast, releasing our music. And don't get it twisted either. Like, you're going to meet all the guys that were involved in that, and they're all coming with us. So, I mean,
I think,
when we go up, they go up.
Kind of put a damper on things. I mean, obviously the collective probably by this time wasn't wasn't 100% going, but like COVID happened. 'Cause I
Oh,
remember
yeah,
I was-
that's-
Yeah,
that was
COVID
2019,
happened, bro.
like the summer of 2019.
Yeah, and then it happened like the
COVID
next
was
year.
like, I don't
20,
know.
like a year
COVID
later.
was. I think COVID was a blessing in a way. Not
No,
because
facts.
of the
I
collective,
think so.
Not
Yeah.
because the collective
No.
didn't work.
Well, too,
yeah.
the other thing was, you guys know, the other thing that's kind of a big part of my story is ever since I had my daughter, like I was always hustling. I was working like 2 or 3 jobs
That's what I said about
and
the car
hustling
thing. You were
on
working
top of it.
Domino's at night.
Yeah, man, I would
remember
work
that.
like 90 hours a week
Right.
religiously, like for years and years. Like I've worked every shit job you could ever think, like moving furniture,
Right.
cleaning up
Yeah, that for
trash,
sure
like
sucks.
I used to move furniture from 5 in the morning
Yeah.
until like 11 or 12 at night, and then go to a YMCA and clean the toilets till like 3 in the morning, and then sleep in the car and go back to work. Just trying to get a bag for music. But then what happened after COVID started is this guy that used to work with my dad, he was in real estate, and he was like, man, I fuck with you, Colgate, like you're a hustler. I got this opportunity for you. I really want you to come fuck with me. And I went over there and I started working for him, and it went really well. And I made 6 figures for the first time in my life. And now,
Killing that
Hit
shit.
the money, buddy.
You understand? Hit
yeah,
it again.
facts. So now I'm
100,000 times.
what's called an acquisitions manager. I get property under contract and sell it. And he and I are producing a guide on how to get into real estate investing with no credit, with no money, working a shitty job, like exactly like how I did it, and was able to like transform my life. And that's literally how all of this came to be. Like,
So shout out to COVID, man.
yeah, for sure.
The investor.
And then that brings us here. So now we're on this, like, what are we going to do? Like, what is this? What's the run that we're about to do? So now what we have to do is we have to put out catalogs of music. We have to develop personal relationships with the community, with the fans. We got to get our hands dirty. You got to go out, like campaigning for mayor. You know, you got to kiss the baby, shake the hands, do all the shit.
Bro.
And then you record those results, and then you go see if you can partner with somebody like, hey, we're making some money. This is who's tapped in so far. If you combine your bag with ours, like, we think we can multiply this, and that's why we need your help. Like, we can't do it without people tapping in, and we're breaking our backs trying to make stuff. Like, we want to provide services, we want to provide value, we want to teach people about things, both like to help you get a bag, to
Keep
entertain
going,
you,
keep
just
faith, you know
to
what I'm
keep
saying?
your motivation up. We
'Cause
got so much stuff coming out.
COVID happened. I actually had a deal with Rock Nation and Def Jam about to happen, bro. You remember Colgate?
I do, yeah.
And I don't. And it didn't happen at first. You know, I was blowed. I was like, I thought everything like, when the shambles was. Then as I look at it, I'm like, you know, that was probably a blessing. It
In disguise,
wasn't
yeah.
supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody at this table's had
Yeah.
really big opportunities that,
Right.
you know, I mean, I know Joe has worked with some of the big dogs. I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about.
Right.
Someone?
Yeah, he's a fucking modest guy. Don't listen to this
Don't
guy.
worry, my
I'm
episode's
just being
coming soon.
modest.
I'll talk.
But to put you in the hot seat real quick,
Go ahead.
Colgate, I'm
Shoot
gonna ask
for it.
you.
But yeah,
Oh,
now you
wait,
know where
let's get it.
you're up to date. So
Yeah.
there you go.
I'm gonna
Colgate.
shoot some questions. You just give me your complete, blunt answer. You don't gotta think about it too much.
First thing that pops in the mind.
Yeah, just first thing that pops in your head.
Okay. Shoot.
Ready for this?
So, in your opinion, what is the most important personality trait / strength someone needs to have to work in your industry?
To be an artist, I'll say really truly business savvy, because that's why, like, you got to know how business works, because in today's industry, like, it's not like before where they'll pluck the undeveloped talent. They want something that's already making money. So you got to understand the basic mechanics of how business works for this to be successful. And the truth is, as soon as you make something that starts making money, anybody will tap in on it. Because it's like, if you come to somebody and you're like, hey, I'm making money doing this. If you put your money in, I'll give you some money.
They're
Who's
in.
going to say no to
They're
that?
in.
Well, so that brings up a really cool thing that you said, but like, you might be thinking, if you're an artist, like, why do I need to be business savvy? I'm an artist, like, I'm creative.
It sucks. I don't
But,
fucking like it, but
Well, yeah,
you
but
know?
like, when you're an artist, really, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
You're trying
no,
to
facts.
sell your music. You're trying to sell yourself. You're trying to brand yourself as all
right.
business at the end of the day,
Yeah.
even if it is creative. So,
Exactly.
I
1,000%. Yeah.
Especially nowadays, it's just part of like, if you want to
It's just the model now.
everybody, you have to like know, that part of the business. You got to
Yeah.
know the whole
Exactly.
business inside and out.
yep.
Okay,
Facts.
that's a great answer. Another question for you. If you could have coffee / dinner or whatever, and with anybody in history, who would it be? Anybody.
I know that. I can answer that for him.
Don't ask
man.
me that question.
I don't know.
Wait. Dead or alive?
Dead or alive. You could
Can I answer this for him?
He's about to say Michael.
Yes, sir. Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
that
see,
conversation though, not like a music, like not in the studio cooking. Like if you
like
could take
dinner or
advice
something.
from
Arnold
somebody
Schwarzenegger.
in history.
Man, that's really tough.
Batman. Bruce Wayne.
Dinner with Batman.
Oh man, because you'd want to say I'd want to say Michael, but the thing about Michael is like I was just really obsessed with like his product, like the way he branded
So
and
Quincy
performed.
Jones?
Ooh, yeah, that's kind of
Maybe.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it'd be
Yes,
music
sir.
though, because I'm into I got it. If I could have dinner with anybody dead or alive, Jesus Christ. Boom.
I'll take that. I would say
Jesus Christ.
Good answer.
right there.
Yeah, he's got
He
got
got
the
all the
Michael
answers.
Jackson answers and the Bill Gates answers and the Jay-Z.
Yeah,
I got the whole catalog.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, you got
Boom.
that right.
That was tough.
All right. You like that? I was.
Yes, Shersky.
All right. If you could start another business tomorrow, nothing stopping you, outside of music, what would it be?
Ooh, this is an easy one. Like film and
Oh yeah.
like film and production, I guess. Like if I had to start it, I mean, I guess another way I could say that is like I definitely would love to act. I'm probably even better at acting than making music. It's close, but
No, you are a great actor. I was
Thank you.
like, in the moment.
definitely got some movies coming this year.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna do that. That's gonna be a thing.
Mhm.
I got this horror movie idea. And look, I'm writing books too. Some of these albums and projects that are coming out this year, they're coming with books.
Right.
They're going to be fire.
And one last question,
Okay, go
which
ahead.
is a question to a question, I guess. What's one question you wish I asked you, and how would you answer it?
What's one question I wish you asked me? One question I wish you asked. Maybe I guess who are some of the people I've worked with? I guess. I mean,
So
I'm not trying to do like vanity, like, hey, look who I've worked with. But
Credits.
some of them are like, they were like bucket list people, like two artists in particular.
I know one of them.
Kwani Cash was one of them.
Shout out Kwani.
Kwani, I met Kwani years ago when he was working with Kid Class on a Johnny Cinco record. That's the guy, if you don't know Kwani Cash, that's the dude who was on Money Baby. Money Baby with K-Camp. Money Baby, yeah. And then Kwani went to jail after that. And I used to write him, and I put some money on his books and stuff. Just here and there.
Shout out to that. Shout out to that.
That's love
And
for real.
when Kwani got out, he was just one of my favorite artists because when
Shout
I
out
had my
to that.
daughter and I was living in the trailer, he has this tape called Don't
Shout out
Sleep.
to that. Put some money on your dog books.
Yes.
For real.
facts.
All right, my bad, Colgate. Go ahead.
No, you good. You good, baby. You already know. So when he got out, we ended up linking. I was like, man, I really want to get you on a record. And it's been in the vault for a while. I really want to do an album with Kwani this year.
I think y'all would
Manifesting it.
sonically, and like
Kwani,
the
if
way
you're
y'all
listening to
make
this,
music.
we got to do an album, bro.
It'd
And I
be
got to
hard.
bring you on the show. But I love Kwani. He had this song on there, the very first intro on Don't Sleep on the first one, which was platinum. He went platinum with it. It was crazy. I was telling Cass about it in the car
said
today.
hard copy, right?
Yeah,
You went
hard
platinum
copy.
with CDs. You know,
That's
You don't see that
crazy.
anymore.
Yeah.
But it's a wild song. Kwani produces all of his own beats and everything, engineers himself. Super fire. He's got a new project out right now. And then Kasky.
I know it.
Yeah, I just flew out to L.A.
Shout out Kasky, man. Fire
facts.
artist.
Yeah. Kasky and Tasty, his producer Tasty, who's also got a solo project coming. They're super fire. But I went out to Cali last summer with my cameraman Brandon Huntley, Cinematic B. He's an animal too.
Yes, sir.
And we shot this record called Tequila Sunrise, which is going to come out later in the year when it's hot.
I'm in that
Y'all
video.
not it yet.
I'm in
Yeah,
that video.
yes.
Easy was putting
Yes, sir.
you putting your acting shoes on that.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's got a bit of a storyline too and stuff.
Alright.
But
great video.
But yeah, Kasky, man, his dad committed suicide when he was like 16. Kasky's like a white boy from Florida. He's like tattooed from head to toe, and he ends up getting signed to Cash Money, which back then was like my dream. I was like, man, I got to be on Cash Money, bro. Like, I got to do it. And he went to Cash Money, had an amazing career, and now he's independent. He's on his own. Super humble dude,
Love what
super
he's
great
doing.
guy,
Yes, sir.
great motivational stuff and shit. Love Caskey, awesome artist.
Super dope.
But yeah, we're ready to.
Put my headphones out.
Oh,
Bad.
hang on. Let's get those
All right, there we
headphones
go.
in
Let's
there.
go.
You got it. Anyway, well, look, guys, I think that's pretty much everything.
Yeah,
on Colgate.
to wrap it up,
Tons of
just
records on the way.
what would you tell the audience? You know what I'm saying? Any word of advice, anything inspirational?
Yeah,
DZ gave him some
facts.
allergy advice, food allergy advice.
I would
last
say,
time. So just anything for the people watching.
One thing I'll say that's really important that I learned, and it always sounds like bullshit when you hear people say it, but it's super, super, super true, and I'm going to tell you why. Money won't make you happy. For years and years, I had this thing in my head because I'm trying to be an artist, I'm trying to be a rapper. Like, if I just make it, if I just get the bag, if I touch the bag, I'll turn around and all my dreams will come true. And I got to the point where, look, I mean, I'm not fucking buying yachts or anything, but I mean, I'm not doing bad, you know? And when I got to that point, I thought it was just going to be this like, yeah, da-da-da, like I fucking made it. And don't get me wrong, like it's great at first, but when you don't wake up and love what you do,
You could have bought a yacht.
maybe.
Go ahead.
But if you don't wake up and love what you do, you're really going to be miserable. So you've only got one life to live. You got to chase something that just like springs you out of bed in the morning. Like us doing this, like this keeps me going, you know?
Yeah.
And
Love it.
the last thing I'll say that's super important is it is important to look at other people and take their example and learn from them, you know, but trust yourself.
Mm-hmm.
For years and years, I always was looking for validation from other people in the music industry. Am I doing this right? How does this sound? What do you think of it? You just got to say, fuck it. I'm doing me, because in today's day and age, with advertising and digital marketing and stuff, no matter what it is, whether you're in your bedroom eating ramen noodles or whether you're fucking balling or whatever the vibe is, there's at least 1 million people out there that are going to love it, that are going to fuck with
Facts.
you.
Yeah.
That could be more people than you even have time to interact with in your entire lifespan. So just, like, that's what they mean when they say be you.
Yeah.
Like, don't kill yourself trying to impress other people. Just, like, trust yourself.
Yeah.
If I would have trusted myself a long time ago, we'd have been on. You know, instead of like waiting for this to happen or these people, or maybe if he puts me in a situation. And you got to do the work yourself. There's no shortcut.
Yeah.
I've tried. I've fucking tried.
No
Every
shortcuts,
shortcut.
Ain't no shortcut.
They don't exist.
Yep.
They don't exist. It's just elbow grease. That's it.
Well, beautiful advice, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for
Boys, thanks for being part of this.
And I know
love
this is
you all to
only a
death.
little part of your story. You know, people are gonna get.
Yeah,
to know
I'm
more
gonna
and
do a
more.
documentary.
Yeah.
And that's gonna drop
That's
in the
gonna be nice.
summertime.
That'll
Yeah,
be
I'm gonna
nice.
take them like all the places I lived and film it and interview people from coming
So,
up. And
now y'all got an exclusive right there.
yeah,
Y'all don't even
so
know.
that'll be a
Well,
real intimate.
We
look
are
at
for the
everything.
culture media.
What?
Cast on the mic.
What's your Instagram, bro?
Colgate, just like the toothpaste. COLGATE 770.
Tap in.
Sir.
Tap in.
Thanks. I'm so used to doing sales calls now. I sound like a fucking business guy. I used to be like, even when we met, man, I used to have so much more of a like slang in my voice. But because I call people for real estate like 10 hours a day now, I'm just hi, is your house for sale? That bag I got me to straighten up.
Oh shit.
I used to be in there, you know, what's happening, fall back, small back, all that. You know, I was saying Decatur, where's greater.
Yeah.
But now it's, you know, money talk.
For the culture media.
Yes,
For the
sir.
culture. Boom.
We're out.
See you next time.
Yes, sir.